What's up? Welcome to your Daily Buckeye Blitz for Saturday. A little slow on the uptick there. Yeah, it's a Saturday. How many more do we have to go? Like 20? About 20 Saturdays, 21, something like that, until college football. Counting them down, check them off. Check off another one. Boom. So, hey, don't forget to check out the buckeyecast.com. Check out the gear. Everything is on sale there, guaranteed. Also, check out the video ball. I have, you know what? I'm going to give you guys a free video. I'm going to send you, I'm going to post a link at the top of this description of this video. Or if you're listening on podcast, I have the link in there too. I'll give you a free 2025 recruiting video for a guy that has been crystal balled to Ohio State. All right. It's going to be a surprise. I'm not going to tell you right now. So look in the description, click on the link, free video. All right. It's his huddle tape highlights. All right. From last year. All right. Let's get into it. I got 4 silver bullets that I am throwing your way that have flashed in spring, made plays. 4 silver bullets on the defensive side of the ball. I got a D tackle. I got a corner. I got a safety. And I got a linebacker. So we hit all levels here. Let's get into it here. So last week, Ryan Day said on Student Appreciation Day, quote, I think the more guys that are thrown into the fire, you kind of find out how they respond. A lot of the installs are kind of in now, and I think we'll still continue to install some things and look at some different schemes on both sides of the ball. So key word there is thrown into the fire, keywords. And seeing how they respond. Now, these 4 guys have been thrown into the fire, and they've responded beautifully. Let's get into it. Number 1, let's start up front with the big man, Caden McDonald, Ronald McDonald. Oh, McDonald had a defensive tackle. This guy is a monster. There's already been a ton of buzz around Caden McDonald before he even arrived at Ohio State. He had some crazy high school stats in Georgia against top-level Georgia high school football, which we all respect. We talked about Edric Houston yesterday at Buford. So here with McDonald, though, around mid-season last year, his practice habits were turning heads. Larry Johnson saw the potential game record he had up front. So now McDonald has another winter of conditioning, physical development, another spring ball to keep enhancing his techniques and build on that momentum that could push him into the D-line rotation. So McDonald has amazing quickness for a guy his size. He's like 320, 325. So he also has straightforward hand fighting skills. McDonald figures to remain squarely in the spotlight as a backup to starters Ty Hamilton and Tyleik Williams. So in last week's scrimmage, McDonald was making life difficult for the Ohio State O-line. He was part of 3 consecutive safeties at the 1-yard line. So it's situational football. They give the offense the ball at the 1-yard line, their own one, and tell them, you got to move it out of your own end zone. They got 3 consecutive safeties. McDonald was in on one of those. He put an offensive lineman on his back and instantly blew up the play. So Caden McDonald's going to be battling Jason Moore and Hero Canoe for a spot in the 2D. So it's up in the air on who the third guy at D tackle is, who would be the next man up, next man in, whatever. But Caden McDonald was mentioned first by Larry Johnson. So keep your eyes on the fries and the big guys with Caden McDonald. Next up, let's talk corners. Let's move outside to the pretty boys. Jermaine Matthews Jr. So Tim Walton's rotation in the secondary will include Jermaine Matthews Jr. There's no doubt about that. How exactly that looks, though, has not been settled. Matthews looks more than capable of taking on some of the load with Denzel Burke and Davison Igbinosun this season. So maybe it's as simple as making it an even split of reps. A true 3-man rotation, so you're spreading the workload out over 3 different guys. Matthews didn't appear out of place physically or competitively last fall as a true freshman. He looks even more comfortable now for the Buckeyes in spring ball. It's possible he can become more than just the third man in, too. If Burke and Hancock would have left for the NFL after last year, the next man up would have been Jermaine Matthews Jr. He would have been your corner one, CB1. So Matthews was outstanding last year as a true freshman, seeing defensive snaps in 8 games, including a spot start. So what is he expecting his role to be this year? Last week he said, quote, "I think just a guy that can play anywhere in the back end, just a guy that can help in special teams, wherever they need me at this year. I'm just going to go out there and give it my all." He's preparing like a starter. He's also working at nickel this spring, so that he's able to help whenever needed and wherever needed. He said, quote, "Yeah, I've been in the nickel a lot this spring. I've been going back and forth, so it's been a new transition for me, but it's really not that new. I played some nickel in high school. I really didn't play that much last year because I was just trying to get into the groove of college football, but I'm back to it." There are differences between corner and nickel, outside corner and nickel, of course, but Matthews' quickness and agility make him a good fit at both spots. He said about the difference between nickel and corner, quote, "I think it's just a two-way go that you get from being in a slot. You can go inside, outside, and if you press, it's the catch technique compared to backpedaling. And if you've got the sideline's an extra defender. It can help you at certain times." So excellent explanation there by the young corner of what you're supposed to do at the slot versus outside corner and how to use that sideline as an extra defender. So Matthews is the next guy up. He's working inside and outside. Tim Walton said, quote, "He's got that it factor. They're going to continue to build off last season and expand his role, and he will be in the rotation." Tim Walton wanted to kind of calm expectations. He said, quote, "We'll play it by ear, and they'll see how it goes once they get into game planning." So keep an eye on 24, Jermaine Matthews Jr. Next up, linebacker Arvell Reese, the big man out of Cleveland, Glendale. So coming out of his first training camp with the Buckeyes last year, they felt like they landed a steal in recruiting with Arvell Reese. He had solid work on special teams before he was injured, and now he's a twitched-up athlete. He's once again on display, and the Woody is he works to expand the depth at linebacker. So it might be a little premature to expect he's kind of still raw, Arvell Reese to break into the 2 deep, but it's anchored by Cody Simon, CJ Hicks, Sonny Styles working at those outside spots. But if nothing else, Reese has raised the expectations that he could be a critical piece for the Silver Bullets this time next year. So he might not crack the 2 deep this year, but a year from now is go time for Arvell. So we'll see. He's got a dynamic combo of size and speed that could be put to use this fall. But I think you're definitely going to see him in a 17-game season potentially. He will get some snaps this year on defense. At the scrimmage last week, Reese was making plays at middle linebacker, so that's where they got him penciled in right now. They had him blitzing up the middle and on the edges. James Laurinaitis said, quote, "I think a lot of it is just confidence. When you have the kind of athleticism like Sonny, CJ, Arvell, you just got to go, you know. I think sometimes you try to be so perfect with what the move is. When you just go and with your speed and let your natural athleticism take over, then you're deadly." Interesting words from Threes. Ryan Day kind of echoed more of the same. He said, quote, "I think you're seeing the speed and athleticism and the length between Cody, Arvell, Sonny, and CJ. Those guys are athletic. Gabe Powers, all these guys are guys who can blitz, they can cover, they can check defenses. I think they've done a good job with that. James and Jim have done a really good job of training them that way. So look for Big Arvell out there at middle linebacker, especially these first 4 games of the season. We'll see plenty of them in the spring game, I'm sure. Get him some reps and get some real live action. So keep an eye out for the middle linebacker, Arvell Reese. Last guy, this guy's a legend already. Caleb Downs. I like this guy in interviews because he doesn't BS you. He doesn't give you a lot of sugar-coated shit. He's not emotional. He is very straightforward, but there's no roller coaster with him. You can tell he's very even keel. I like that, especially in my deepest safety. Downs has already proven to be one of the nation's best safeties after just 1 year at Alabama, but he never practiced at Ohio State until this spring, right? So seeing him in scarlet and gray definitely draws your attention. Both his teammates and coaches are raving about how easily he's transitioned into the program. Downs is a treat to watch, doing just about any drills, even without pads on. So it'll be fun to see what Arvell can bring in the spring game in the shoe. They probably limit him a little bit. Lathan Ransom will be probably not practicing or playing in the spring game at all, but you'll see a little bit of Caleb Downs. Matt Guerrieri said this past week, he's really special. Quote, he's really special. He's really special. First off, he puts the work in. Talent is a God-given thing, but the discipline and skill that you develop over time in your life, he's been able to do that. He's a really disciplined guy. He's the same every day from a mentality standpoint. He's the same every day from a work ethic standpoint. So you see that translate to the field. He's probably in the film room more than anybody on the entire defense. He puts that type of effort in, and he's done a great job of pushing that envelope with the other guys to make sure that the standard is that way. That's what you want. That's a leader. That's a freaking leader. Guerrieri went on to say, quote, his preparation is so high, he challenges you as a coach to be an elite teacher because he's going to be on his game. It's like coaching a professional player. He understands the concept of the game so well. He puts so much time into it. As a coach, you better be matching or equaling that and going above and beyond that, because if not, he's going to be a step ahead of the coach. That's no bueno. You don't want that. Otherwise, Guerrieri, what are you doing? Might as well have the players coaching the team. So Caleb Downs, an obvious one to finish off with, but I wanted to hit each level and give you 4 dudes to talk about. So look for Caleb Downs and in the spring game, and obviously in the fall on Saturdays, whatever. He's professional, right? Guerrieri said it. He's a professional player. But anyways, that's all I got for you today. Don't forget, Sunday night, me, Jeff, and Sean, YouTube Live, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. We will be talking offense 2 deep. We did the defense last week. And I've been talking a lot of defense here on the Daily Blitz recently. So we're going to talk offense Sunday night, give you our 2 deep. Maybe we'll do another quick 3-round draft too. See it, that last one went so well. Anyways, check out the BuckeyeCast.com, the video vault, and all the gear there. So talk to you later. Go Bucks.